My parents spent everything they ever had on my older sister. Her Ivy League tuition, her massive dream wedding, even the down payment for her first house. And then the moment they got older, they didn't call her. They called me, "Honey, we need you to move back home right now." It's funny how the person who gets the least investment is always the first one expected to provide the highest return. I wasn't the daughter they wanted to show off, but I was the daughter they needed to survive. Growing up, she got the private SAT tutors, I got the local public library. She got a shiny new car for her 16th birthday. I took the city bus until I was 20. I once asked for a tiny bit of help with my first apartment deposit. They looked me dead in the eyes and said they were tight on money that month. It was a lie, of course. They just didn't see me as a priority. I learned early on that if I wanted a safety net, I'd have to weave it myself with my own two hands and no help. That same year I was struggling to pay rent, they threw her a wedding at a luxury vineyard. Open bar, live band, 2 photographers and a videographer. I stopped asking for anything after that, I just figured it out myself. No safety net, no cos igner, just me against the world. I built a life out of the scraps they left behind while she lived a life funded by their favoritism. I didn't realize then that my independence was actually making me the perfect target for their future demands. Then my dad had a major health scare, and my mom called. She didn't call my sister, she called me. She said, "We are not getting any younger, honey. We think it makes sense for you to move back in and help us out with the house and the bills, not a request, but an expectation." A summons. They spent their lives pouring resources into one child, but the moment the well ran dry, they turned to the one they ignored. They didn't want my company, they wanted a free, live-in insurance policy. I asked why my sister wasn't doing it. Long pause. She has the kids. Jake's job keeps them tied to Seattle. It just wouldn't be realistic for her, but I'm single. I built my own apartment, my own life, and apparently that is exactly why I am available. Because I didn't follow the traditional path they funded for her, my time is seen as less valuable. My life is considered flexible simply because I don't have a husband or a mortgage to use as an excuse to say no to their heavy burdens. My sister got the husband, the house, the wedding they funded, and a free pass from every family obligation. I got independence through grit and struggle, and somehow that means I owe them mine. It is a twisted irony. The child who was given everything is now too busy to give anything back, while the child who was given nothing is expected to sacrifice everything. They treated her like a precious investment, and they are treating me like a servant who is finally reporting for duty. Here is the truth nobody ever said out loud, but everybody lived by. She was the daughter they invested in. I was the daughter they counted on. One gets the deposits. The other only ever gets the withdrawals. It is a bank account where I never put any money in, yet I am the only one expected to cover the overdraft fees. They poured their love into her and their expectations into me. They gave her the wings to fly away, and now they want to clip mine so I can stay behind and crawl for them. I called them back 3 days later. I said, "I love you both very much. I will be there for every single emergency and hospital visit, but I am not moving back in. I am not giving up the life I built from nothing just to be your backup plan." My mom went completely quiet. My dad told me I was being selfish and heartless. Selfish, the word they use when they can no longer control you. It hurt, but for the first time, the guilt didn't feel like a weight, it felt like a confirmation of my exit. My sister, who offered zero help, said nothing, and did nothing, texted me saying I was tearing the entire family apart. And I just sat there and thought, what family? The one where I was the backup plan my entire life and somehow still ended up with the bill? The one where my value is measured by how much I can sacrifice for the person who got the cake while ate the crumbs? If family means being a resource instead of a person, then maybe this family was already torn apart long ago. For the first time in my entire life, I made a decision that was actually mine. No guilt trips, no shoulds, just me. And if choosing my own sanity and the life I worked so hard for makes me the villain in their story, honestly, I think I am finally okay with that. Being the villain is better than being the martyr. I am done being the backup plan for people who never made me their first choice. I am finally my own priority, and the view from outside their expectations is actually beautiful. Would you have done the same thing? Or would you have moved back home out of a sense of duty? Drop it in the comments below. Because I genuinely want to know if I am the only one who has ever felt like an insurance policy instead of a daughter. Is it selfish to say no when you are never given a reason to say yes? Let's talk about the cost of being the reliable one in a family that only remembers you exist when they need a favor. I am reading every single one of your stories now.